In that verse, it says, God came to them in the cool of the day. Now, this likely means the late evening, early afternoon, as the sun is starting to set. It's starting to get a little bit cooler outside. I think this is significant because God didn't come to them in the middle of the night. The darkness would have terrified Adam and Eve even more, terrified them, these shameful and broken creatures. He didn't come to them in the middle of the day, in the heat of the day, as if God was coming with anger and passion, ready to slay his creation for what they've done against him. But he also didn't come in the early morning as if God was in a rush to discipline them, a rush to fix things. He came at the close of the day, at the cool of the day. Because God is long-suffering, he's slow to anger, and of great, great mercy. When God gets to them in the garden, he asks them a question. He says, "Where are you?" He asks Adam and Eve as they're hiding from their Creator, he says, "Where are you?" Now, this isn't a question of interrogation as if God was this angry police officer searching for these criminals. This was the heartfelt, heartbroken cry of an anguished father. He was heartbroken over their sin, and he came to them and asked, "Where are you?" He knew that there was this barrier created between him and his creation that day that only he himself would be able to bridge. Now, God obviously knew where Adam and Eve were physically. But because of that barrier, he asked this question more of, "Where are you? Where has your sin taken you? Why are you hiding from me? Where have you gone?" This question was meant to arouse Adam and Eve's sense of being lost, to lead them to confess their sin, to express God's sorrow over their new condition, but more importantly, to show his creation that he seeks after the lost. Now, something has to be lost for God to be asking where they are, and that's exactly what we are. We are lost without God when we sin. He comes to you and he asks, "Where are you? Where has your sin taken you?" Because he knows it leads to emptiness and brokenness. Now, God is heartbroken by this, but he immediately comes up with this great plan. This great plan that's going to save his creation forever. Not just Adam and Eve and their sin in the moment, but a plan that would be sufficient for all of us, for everyone to come on the earth after Adam and Eve. Now, why do I share this? Because God came to Adam and Eve the way he did is the model of how he comes to us as well. God came to them patiently, waiting for the cool of the day. God came to them with care by coming before the darkness of the night. God came to them personally, addressing Adam and Eve directly himself and not just sending somebody else to do it. God came to them with truth, showing Adam and Eve their lost and broken condition. Now, I mentioned this plan that God created, and this plan would allow for us to have a relationship with God. And he fulfilled that plan through Jesus on the cross. See, God waited patiently to send his son Jesus when the time was right. He didn't just rush to fix things in the moment, but something that would fix our broken nature forever. God came with care by the way Jesus served those around him and loved those around him. He didn't come to be served, but to serve. God came personally in the form of man. He was born in the manger. He lived a perfect life, even though he experienced human emotion, feeling, and temptation. And Jesus came preaching truth, showing us our need for a Savior and our broken condition. So we've all chosen sin over God, and that broke God's heart for us. It created a barrier between us and God that none of us could do anything about. So what we're about to show y'all is what Jesus went through on the cross to bridge that gap between us and God.